Welcome to Out of the Box from Hudson County Community College. In these podcasts, we bring you timely discussions about education, people, programs, events, issues, and solutions that affect the education and enrichment of the people of Hudson County. I'm Chris Reber, President of Hudson County Community College, and your podcast host. In this session, we'll discuss the services and programs for veterans that are available here at Hudson County Community College. Joining me today are Willie Malone, who's our Veterans Affairs certifying official. Willie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Delighted to have you here. And also, we're delighted to welcome Bennie Garner, who's a United States Army veteran and a recent Hudson County Community College alumnus. Bennie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Reber. Happy to be here.
Let me begin by just saying a few words about Bennie's service and Willie's service to the United States. Bennie just graduated Hudson County Community College with an associate degree in radiography. He served as a combat veteran, sergeant, and squad leader. He has a combat action badge, an Army Commendation Medal, and an Iraq Campaign Medal with 4 stars. He was on the Dean's List for Outstanding Achievement while a student here. He's about to begin a new job, which we'll hear more about. Willie is a United States Navy veteran. He served in Gaeta, Italy in the late 70s and early 80s. And he, in his role at Hudson County Community College, guides active and retired military through the whole process of becoming students at Hudson County Community College. There are a lot of issues, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of preparation and support that he coordinates from application really through the success in graduation and completion and sometimes transfer to other institutions or to employment of our veteran students. And Willie received his Associate of Applied Science here from the college in Human Services in the late 90s and was very active as a student. He was a lab assistant, a student ambassador, and very importantly, he served as student government president here.
Yes.
And so upon graduation, Willie has been an employee at Hudson County Community College through his entire career. Let me say at the outset on behalf of the entire Hudson County Community College student, faculty, staff population, and beyond, thank you, gentlemen, both of you, for your service.
Thank you.
You inspire us, and we so appreciate your willingness to serve our country. Let's talk a little bit about veterans here and what we do for them. Willie, can you tell us a little about how you work with our veteran students?
Yes. Well, what I initially do is when a veteran comes into the college, he's trying to find out how to activate his benefits, number one, if he has educational benefits. So I help with that process, and I also follow them throughout the whole process as far as like the education part, the advisement part, the directions of who they should see and who they should meet with. And also I follow through with the educational benefits to make sure the benefit packages match up to what they need to have while they're here at Hudson.
What are some of the principal issues and concerns veterans have, let's say at the very beginning of the process?
Well, most of the time they just want to get their, they want to know the proper way to do things. And number one and foremost is like how to activate their educational benefits if they have them. But we treat all veterans the same whether they have educational benefits or not, because we look at all veterans as important to the institution.
And of course, our mission as a college is to serve students and to provide life-changing transformational opportunities for all of our students.
Yes.
And we believe strongly in student success and meeting every student where they are and helping them achieve their goals, and also diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is such a great strength and such an inspirational part of our college community. And we're actively in the process of growing our services to veteran students. Bennie, tell us a little bit about how you wound up here. What brought you to Hudson County Community College?
Well, Dr. Reber, I'm actually from the area. I grew up not too far from here. I got out of the military, and I was just looking for something to further my life, to keep going, something that was going to help me be successful. I actually came across the website, and I have family members that went here. One of my cousins actually graduated from the nursing program here, and he had told me a little bit about it. So I said, I'll just look it up, and I looked it up, and I saw Mr. Malone on the website. He was the veterans coordinator, and I reached out to him, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Can you tell us a little bit about your service and what you learned there and what you plan to do going forward?
Leadership, resilience, and those are the two big things. Like, it's just, especially with school, leadership in the classroom, outside the classroom, other veterans, you know the signs when they're, kind of not feeling well that day, or, they're going through something, so you can reach out to them like, hey man, are you okay? What's going on? Like, I know what it looks like. Are you all right? Resilience. The radiography program is very challenging at times, and you're just gonna have times where you just feel like, can I do this? Like, but if you can get through what you got through in your previous engagements with being in the military, then you can get through anything. So that's what I would have to continually tell myself, that this is just temporary and the success is worth it in the end.
And you did get through the program. You did very well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And while you were a student, did you have a lot of opportunities to interact with other veterans and to offer support and help each other?
Actually, going through my prerequisites, I ran into a few veterans here and there. There wasn't a whole lot. I feel like we're like maybe the smaller percentage, which makes sense. But when I did, see a veteran, it's kind of like, oh, I got a friend, somebody that can, bring me along, or is going to realize like if I'm having a bad day, or, something, to be able to reach out to me.
What do you hope to do going forward? You've chosen radiography. And tell us about your new position and maybe a little bit about your vision for your career.
Well, now it's see, the thing with radiography is it's kind of like a spider web. You start off in the middle, which is, X-ray. And then from there, you can branch off into a multitude of things, whether it be CAT scan or CT, radiation therapy, interventional radiography, mammography. It all spins off from there. So this is just the base core. Mm-hmm. And from there, I plan to launch into, CT within a year, maybe radiation therapy following that. But I have my basis. So this is just my basis for me.
And Bennie, were you able to utilize benefits from the Veterans Administration for your education?
Yes, sir. I utilized the post 9/11 GI Bill, as well as the VR&E. And because my post 9/11 actually ran out closer towards the end, so I had to tap into the other resource that we have, and I used that to finish up my degree.
And did that cover basically all of your expenses?
That's an issue. Sometimes it covers most of it, which is the tuition and the books for my program. So specifically the radiography program, the books are very expensive. Yeah. One of my books was almost, I think, $400 just for one book. And that was just for that one semester. It's a 2-year process, so it's a lot of books. Mm-hmm. The book stipend covers, like I said, maybe like a smaller percentage of it. It would be great if it could be, covered. That would be optimal, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I realize that, sometimes you're not going to be able to do that. But
were other forms of financial aid available to you? The Pell Program, student loans, any New Jersey financial aid?
Personally, I didn't take any loans. Okay. Personally, I just think the obligation was a lot for me at the time, especially at that point, just starting school. And with the radiography program, it's very time consuming.
It is
very time consuming. I spent my junior year, I spent that with 2 days at clinical and 3 days in the classroom.
Right.
And those days that you come from clinical, the following day you have 3 tests or quizzes that you have to study for. You don't get out of clinical until about 3. Don't get home until about 4. And you have to, all the errands from the week that you missed, you have to get into that in that time slot. So.
And you have to really be committed, don't you?
It's a full-time commitment.
But if you think about your story, it's so important, I think, for others out there who may be thinking about going back to school after a period of military service or from any other kind of walk of life. It's challenging sometimes taking that first step. There's a lot of bureaucracy. There's a lot of paperwork. There are questions. Most of our students are the first in their families to attend higher education. So, a major part of our mission is to work one-on-one with students and help them through every part of that process. But you were able to capitalize really on what you learned through your heroic engagement in the military, your leadership skills, certainly helping others. It led you here and on a pathway to join a helping profession, right?
Yes, sir.
And it happens to be a profession that is very much in need and that pays well because it's very much in need with a lot of opportunity for promotion and expansion. I'm sure you're going to do exceedingly well. You're going to be starting a new full-time position soon?
Yes, sir. Christ Hospital here soon.
Excellent. Well, your success is our success, so we're really proud of you. And Willie, tell us a little bit about where we're headed. In fact, let me just say, we were really proud last week in a celebration of our new student center, brand new, beautiful building that was renovated here to be the living room of our students, to be a place where all students can feel comfortable and can relax between classes, do group study. Well, there are a lot of events there. There's a really wonderful restaurant, eatery there. And there's also a new Veterans Lounge.
Yes, the bunker.
Tell us about it.
The bunker.
Yeah.
We're very proud of the bunker. Thanks to our new leadership that we have here at the college, we're making strides to make this more of a home to veterans. I've done in the past, I've had a good relationship with a lot of veterans, and I've seen a lot of veterans become very successful. And but where we are moving forward, we have a bunker, but we're also looking to create more space to create more of a home for veterans who come here and they need guidance and they need camaraderie with other veterans. So we're trying to create a area and a space where they can all meet together, they can do things together, they can watch football games together, they can eat pizza together, and they can also study together and be successful together.
And maybe do things with their families as well.
Together. Oh yes, that's another big part of what we're trying to accomplish. We have a big plan, big ideas. We're just hitting the tip of the iceberg right now.
And so the bunker, this new space for really created for veterans as a place where they can relax and interact and do things. It has nice, comfortable furniture. It has great internet and places where you can be online and study. Yes. And I know you personally plan to be there
yes.
part of every day, I think, don't you?
Yes. I make myself available to veterans from the moment that they step on campus. And it doesn't matter whether they receive educational benefits or not. We treat all veterans the same. When they come in, I think we are one of the fewest schools that do what we are doing, and that's like we don't charge a veteran anything up front. A veteran can come to school here and he can apply for classes and go through the whole process, and we give him, regardless on the type of benefit he received, we give him to the end of the semester to pay the balance. And I don't think no other colleges are doing that right now. And if you do have 100% of coverage in your benefits, you don't come out of pocket with anything.
Right. As a result of the acute challenges of the pandemic, but actually beyond that, as a result of our intense focus as a college community on supporting our students and student success, we've been developing programs and services to support students across the spectrum through a new program we call Hudson Helps, the Hudson Helps Resource Center, where we have emergency funding assistance so that if a student encounters a flat tire, they lose a job, their utilities are turned off, the college provides funding support so that those life challenges don't interrupt someone from completing their degrees. Mental health counseling, social work counseling, help with child care services, help with career planning, the whole 9 yards all in one location. And so increasingly, we're finding that our students aren't having to spend any money out of pocket between whatever specific benefits they have, such as veterans, which have some wonderful opportunities, and then lots of other financial aid programs and college foundation support. We're committed to not letting financial challenge keep any student from coming here and succeeding. And that's really a work in progress. And speaking of works in progress, we're also right now putting the finishing touches on the plans for our next Hudson County Community College facility, which is going to be an 11-story facility we call the Academic Tower. In it will be a much more comprehensive set of offices and facilities to support our veterans. That's probably going to happen within the next 3 to 4 years, and will help us move forward. Willie, if you were giving advice to someone, let's say, who has a background in the military and is thinking about starting their education, what would you say?
Well, seeing that I started my career here at Hudson, and I was a student, and it was just, the environment was just so nice here that, and when I say nice, I mean that I could talk to people. I could actually really have one-on-one conversation with people. So what I got from the whole experience was that this was a great place to start. And the reason why it was a great place to start is because when you're planning on starting your career and you're planning on going to a university, there's a prerequisite that you should fulfill, and I think it should be Hudson County Community College. And it's the reason why is because we take a personal approach to each student.
Bennie, what advice might you offer if a student asks you, should I go back to school?
I would say do it as fast as possible. Like prerequisites and things take a while before you actually get to your program, specifically my program. It's about 2 years once you get into the program. So get started right away. Don't waste time. Connect with someone that's going to help you. Mr. Malone was not just a veterans counselor. He was a shoulder when I needed it. When I had issues, when I had medical issues, I came to him and he, kind of made sure I got taken care of and everything got done. Find someone like that. There's always someone, excuse me, that's going to be there, beyond their capacity, just for you as a human being. And that is important, especially, coming from the background that I have. One of the issues I deal with is PTSD. And, having someone like Mr. Malone, a veterans counselor, that's willing to go the extra mile. Hey, are you doing okay? Like, how's class going? Those periodical check-ins, those mean a lot. And making sure that I could financially, streamline the process to where I don't have to worry. Once the paperwork is done, I can focus on class. And that's very important.
That's wonderful advice and also true. And, our hope going forward, I know we share this vision, Willie, is continuing to find ways that we can facilitate veterans coming together, getting to know one another, being able to share in activities with their families so that we have that kind of support system that's not hard to find and that can make the difference between
Yes, sir.
finishing and not finishing, right?
Yes, sir.
Another silver lining of the pandemic, as horrible as it's been for all of us, there have been some things that will be helpful going forward that we learned in that period. One of the things that we learned is how to use remote instruction and online instruction as a tool that makes an education even more accessible to folks who may need the flexibility to do courses around their work and family schedules rather than sitting in seats. And so we've never had more flexibility in offering different ways for students to complete courses. They can do it on ground. They can do fully online programs around their personal schedules. We have sort of hybrid programs that use both modalities. And we offer courses 7 days a week. And so we want to make sure every person in Hudson County and beyond that once an education is able to get that education here as a starting point or as an end point that will lead them to family-sustaining wages. So, gentlemen, I want to thank both of you again for being with me, again for your inspirational service to the nation and to our community as well. Willie, we're so proud of your long tenure here as a student, which is not uncommon. We have lots of alumni that now work here and support our students. And I know you have a particular personal perspective, having been a student before now, your years of service in helping other students. Gentlemen, we have a way of ending these podcasts that's evolved over the last few years. I'd like to ask you if you could describe your Hudson County Community College experience in one word. What would that word be? Bennie?
For me, it would be helpful.
Helpful. Willie?
I can use 2 words?
You can use 2 words.
New beginnings.
New beginnings. Helpful, new beginnings. My word is always inspirational. Gentlemen, you inspire me. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for joining us for this session of Out of the Box. We hope you'll visit our website, hccc.edu, and share this podcast with your friends and family. And please stay safe and well. Thank you.